Hello everyone, welcome to our video tutorial about hiding rows and columns. To follow this tutorial, you can pause the video and type this content into your worksheet. Excel gives us an opportunity to hide the columns, to hide the rows in the worksheet. The benefit with this is that when the rows and the columns are hidden, you can easily read the contents in your worksheet. For example, if you have large amount of data in your worksheet. It can also help you to hide or keep some of the content that you may not want other people to see. Let's look at how we can hide the rows. First, if you're going to hide the row, you have to make sure you identify which row you are going to hide. For this example, we want to hide row 2 up to row 4. That is from Damba Sam up to Nambi Rita. So to hide those rows of ours, we are going to use the row selector. The row selector is that pointer we see at row 2. So we click, hold and move up to Nambi Rita so that we can select those rows we want. After selecting, release the mouse button. Then our next step is to right click, but when you're right clicking, our pointer must be on the selected area. So we right click and then we go to hide because we want to hide those selected rows. So we click hide. After hiding, we can now see a thick line is drawn from the area where we hid our rows. Now we can just click inside our worksheet to remove that thick line. How do I know that this worksheet here has some hidden rows? So to know that this worksheet has some hidden rows, what you do is you just go on the row area where we see these row numbers. Then you read from the first row. Like in our example, it is showing us the first row is 1, then 5. An indication that there are some hidden rows. And secondly, there is a thick line drawn between row 1 and row 5, which is not the case with other rows. So those are the two ways you can tell that in this worksheet some rows are hidden. Now to unhide these rows, what we do is you select the two rows that are bordering the hidden rows. So for our case, we shall select row 1 and row 5. So you click, hold and move. Then after selection, release the mouse button. Our next step will now be to right click. Again, you have to make sure that this row selector or that cursor you're seeing is on the selected area. Then we are now going to click the right click button. Then what we want to do is to unhide. So we click unhide. When you click on unhide, you can now see our rows have now been unhidden. So after unhiding, what we do, we just click inside to remove this selection. Let's now go and look at how we can hide the columns. Assuming we would like to read only the contents in column for chemistry and history. That means we can read that easily minus displaying these other 4 columns. So we can decide to hide column for mathematics up to that one of physics. To do that, we shall use the column selector. So when it appears, click, hold, then we move to select these other columns up to physics. After selecting, what we are going to do is to right click, make sure this pointer is on that selected area. So we right click, then we go to hide. So you click hide. When you click on hide, we see the columns have gone, and once again we are seeing this thick line. So to remove this thick line, just click within your worksheet. Now we have only 3 columns, and we can easily read the contents in these 3 columns. That is the benefit of hiding these columns in your worksheet. How do we tell that some columns are hidden? Still, we shall read the column letters. Now you can see we have column A, then column F. This means that there are some columns that are hidden. Also, we see this border between A and F also having a thick line, indicating there are some columns hidden. So now, to unhide, we shall also select these columns surrounding the hidden columns. So that means we shall select column A and then move to F. After selecting, make sure this pointer is on the selected area. Then we can now right click and go to unhide to display our columns once again. When you click, the hidden columns will be displayed. We can just click aside to remove this selection. So that's how you can hide and unhide the columns that are in your worksheet. If you would like to also hide the worksheet, that's also possible. To do that, hiding the worksheet, you go to the sheet tabs below here where we see sheet 1, sheet 2 and 3. So to hide this sheet, we just go to sheet 1, then right click and then select hide. So we left click once to hide. So when you click on it, you can see our sheet together with the contents have all been hidden. So this is sheet 2 and this is sheet 3. So we don't have sheet 1. If we want to unhide our sheet, then we shall go to sheet 2. We click once. Then you right click and select unhide. So we click unhide. When you click unhide, this dialog box is going to be displayed for you to ask you which sheet do you want to unhide. So that's why we see unhide sheet. Then in the dialog box we have sheet 1. Yes, this is what we want to unhide, so we can click on OK. When you click on OK, our sheet is again displayed. And on the sheet tabs, we have now sheet 1, sheet 2, which is empty, sheet 3, which is empty. Now we can click back in sheet 1. So when you hide the rows and columns, your contents are not affected. But hiding these rows and columns may also affect the formulas. So you have to take note whenever you are opting to hide the rows and columns in your worksheet. Hope you found this video important to you. Thank you. See you in our next tutorial.